Thailand, the land of smiles, hides more than it shows. Beyond the golden temples and street food lies a world of contrasts, wealth beside poverty, tradition clashing with change. What's behind the smiles? To understand Thailand, you have to look deeper, into the beauty and the shadows. Sex, power, and survival. The dark side of Thai tourism. Thailand's sex industry is not an underground secret. It's a spectacle, woven into the tourism machine, presented as edgy entertainment, and normalized by decades of cultural tolerance, economic necessity, and legal ambiguity. Districts like Soi Cowboy, Patpong, and Nana Plaza are world famous. Here, bars line narrow alleys, neon signs flicker with suggestive names, and the line between adult entertainment and outright exploitation is dangerously thin. Though technically illegal, prostitution is tolerated, and in many cases indirectly facilitated by those in power. But behind the lights are human stories, many of them filled with pain. Thousands of women, transgender individuals, and even young men enter the industry every year. Some arrive seeking opportunity, but many are escaping poverty, violence, or family breakdown. Promised safe jobs or pressured by circumstance, they find themselves in an industry where consent is often murky, where debt traps are common, and where escape routes are few. Foreign demand fuels it. Sex tourism is a multi-billion-dollar market, one that's grown since the Vietnam War era, when Thailand became a rest and relaxation zone for American soldiers. Over time, the system professionalized. The performers became commodities. The boundaries blurred. Some workers are empowered and self-directed, but many are not. And for them, each smile is rehearsed. Each night is endured. And every morning brings the same reality: survival. Stolen childhoods, the hidden victims of modern society. Of all the shadows cast by Thailand's tourism boom, none are darker than child trafficking. It begins quietly. A child disappears from a remote village in Isan. A teenager from Cambodia is promised a waitress job in Bangkok. A young girl in Myanmar is offered money for her family in exchange for a better life. But what awaits them is not a future. It's a cage. Thailand is both a destination and a transit country for human trafficking. Children are taken for labor, domestic servitude, and most heartbreakingly, for sexual exploitation. Many are underage, lured through deception, sold by desperate relatives, or abducted by traffickers working in coordinated networks. The abuse is horrific. Victims are often held against their will, controlled through threats, violence, and psychological manipulation. Their identities are erased. Their bodies become products. Even worse, a portion of this system exists to cater to international clients who deliberately seek underage victims. This is not a byproduct, it is a market. Thai authorities and NGOs have made efforts to combat this crisis, with crackdowns, rescue missions, and public awareness campaigns. But corruption and demand remain powerful obstacles. For every child saved, many more vanish without a trace. This is not just a legal problem, it is a moral emergency. Slaves of the Sea, the true cost of Thailand's seafood. Thailand is the world's third-largest seafood exporter. Its shrimp, tuna, and squid stock grocery stores in Europe, America, and across Asia. But the story behind these products is not one of sustainability, it's one of slavery. Reports from international investigations have revealed widespread forced labor on Thai fishing vessels. Men from Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos are promised legitimate jobs, only to find themselves trapped at sea, their passports confiscated, their wages withheld, their lives controlled. Many are beaten, deprived of food, and made to work 18 to 20 hours a day. Some are out at sea for months, even years, without setting foot on land. Attempts to escape are met with violence. Those who resist have reportedly been thrown overboard. These are not isolated incidents. The seafood supply chain is vast and tangled, with labor brokers, middlemen, and corrupt officials benefiting at every stage. Despite international pressure, enforcement is weak and reform slow. Meanwhile, the seafood ends up on our plates, sanitized, packaged, and branded as fresh and sustainable. But the reality behind it is anything but. Power, censorship, and the monarchy. Thailand presents itself as a democratic nation, complete with elections, a constitution, and a parliament. But political power here is deeply intertwined with an institution most outsiders barely understand: The monarchy. Officially, Thailand is a constitutional monarchy. In practice, the royal family wields enormous influence, culturally, politically, and economically. Criticism of the monarchy is not just taboo, it is criminal. Under Thailand's lèse-majesté laws, any perceived insult to the king, queen, or heir can result in up to 15 years in prison. The law is vague by design, allowing for broad interpretation. Even a social media post, a classroom discussion, or a passing comment can trigger prosecution. This legal framework has created a climate of self-censorship. Journalists avoid the topic, scholars choose silence, activists face harassment, exile, or worse. In recent years, brave student-led protests have demanded reform. But the state's response has been swift: arrests, lawsuits, and digital surveillance. Freedom of expression in Thailand is not just limited. It is conditional, and the conditions are ever shifting. Wildlife for sale, entertainment built on suffering. Thailand's vibrant tourism industry often markets itself as a gateway to the exotic, and nothing symbolizes that more than its wildlife attractions. Tourists arrive eager for unique experiences, riding elephants through the jungle, snapping selfies with tigers, or watching monkeys perform tricks. But what unfolds in front of the camera is a performance built on cruelty and suffering, a spectacle masked as tradition. To make elephants submissive enough for rides and tricks, they undergo a violent process called fajan, or spirit breaking. Young calves are torn from their mothers, confined in small cages, beaten with hooks, and deprived of food and water until their will is shattered. Once broken, they are put to work, day in and day out, carrying tourists or entertaining crowds, often under the hot sun with no rest. Big cats like tigers are frequently drugged to keep them docile for photos. Chained or confined, they spend their lives as props. Monkeys, intelligent and social animals, are trained through pain, whipped, chained, and forced to mimic human behavior for amusement. Even crocodiles are exploited, kept in concrete pits, and made to participate in dangerous stunt shows for human thrill. These attractions generate millions in revenue each year, forming a profitable side of Thailand's tourism sector. But they do so at a tremendous cost to animal welfare. While ethical sanctuaries exist, they are still outnumbered by operations prioritizing profit over compassion. Behind every photo opportunity is a living being stripped of its dignity, trapped in a cycle of exploitation, all for the sake of tourist entertainment. The meth empire, drugs, and the new Golden Triangle. In the mist-shrouded hills of northern Thailand, near the borders of Laos and Myanmar, lies a region once infamous for its opium trade. Back then, this was the heart of the old Golden Triangle, a name synonymous with narcotics and danger. But today, a new empire has risen from those same mountains. Its product is no longer opium. It's methamphetamine, cheap, potent, and devastating. Yaba, a small tablet combining meth with caffeine, has become the drug of choice for millions. It's everywhere, from the slums of Bangkok to remote rural villages. One pill can keep a laborer awake for days. For young people, it's a dangerous thrill. For traffickers, it's big business. But for families, it's a slow-motion disaster. Homes break apart, violence rises, entire communities fall into chaos. Most of the production takes place across the border in Myanmar, where lawlessness and militia control allowed drug syndicates to operate mega labs hidden in the jungle. From there, traffickers exploit porous borders and corrupt officials to flood the Thai market. The trafficking network is vast, militarized, and ruthless. Even harsh penalties, from decades in prison to the death sentence, have done little to slow its spread. This is no longer just a drug problem. It's a social crisis, a health emergency, a national security threat, and in the quiet corners of the countryside, far from the spotlight, it continues to grow, invisible but deadly. Rural Thailand, life on the margins. Behind Thailand's glittering skyline and golden beaches lies another reality, one that few tourists ever see. It is the reality of rural Thailand, where over 60% of the population lives, often forgotten by the engines of economic growth and modern development. In the vast northeast and rugged north, life unfolds with quiet struggle. Farmers rise before dawn, working long hours for meager returns. Their crops, rice, sugarcane, cassava, often sell for less than what it costs to grow them. The rain patterns are changing, the soil is thinning, and technology is slow to arrive. Meanwhile, schools lack resources, teachers are overworked, and hospitals are understaffed and under-equipped. For many young people, the only hope lies elsewhere. They leave home, heading to Bangkok or the tourist hubs in the south. There they become the invisible backbone of the economy, working long hours in construction sites, factories, kitchens, and night markets. They send money home each month, sacrificing their dreams so that others may eat. Thailand is often praised as an upper-middle-income nation, but behind the statistics are millions living paycheck to paycheck, with no safety net, no upward mobility, and no real voice. They are the silent engine of the country, and the ones most often left behind. The illusion of paradise, what tourists see and what they don't. To the outside world, Thailand is a postcard. Turquoise beaches, smiling faces, spicy street food, and golden temples glistening in the sun. It's a land of spiritual retreats and full moon parties, a perfect paradise for the weary traveler. But paradise, too, can be an illusion. Just beyond the luxury resorts and curated experiences lies another Thailand, raw, complex, and often ignored. The same roads that lead to five-star spas also wind past urban slums and overcrowded prisons. The smiling vendor may be a trafficking victim. The picturesque elephant may have been tortured into obedience, and the island paradise may be built atop exploited labor and displaced communities. Tourism often acts as a filter. It shows only what is comfortable, palatable, and profitable. The rest, the inequality, the censorship, the exploitation, is carefully kept out of sight. Not by accident, but by design. The issue isn't that tourists are being lied to, it's that they're only being shown half the story. To truly understand Thailand. To truly understand Thailand, one must be willing to look beyond the surface, to step past the photo ops and into the contradictions. This is a land where breathtaking temples rise above neighborhoods in despair, where ancient traditions thrive beside modern injustice, where spiritual grace exists alongside silent suffering. Thailand is both beautiful and broken. It is both healing and hurting. It is a country where people endure more than they reveal, where stories go untold not because they are unimportant, but because they are inconvenient. This is not a reason to turn away. It's a reason to look closer. Because the most powerful journeys are not those that offer escape, but those that demand awareness. To see Thailand only as a vacation destination is to miss its soul. But to see it as it is, in all its complexity, is to begin to understand it. And that, perhaps, is the most respectful form of travel. Thank you for joining us on this eye-opening journey through Thailand, a land of beauty, contrast, and hard truths. If this documentary expanded your perspective, share it with others who seek to explore the world beyond the surface. Stay with us here on Explore World for more untold stories from corners of the earth that few dare to reveal.